I have worked so damn hard at improving my self-esteem, my self-love, my ability to be able to look in the mirror and not be so bloody nasty to myself. Not, it makes me, I want to tear up. Talking about it is just so many years of self-hate and loathing at looking at yourself. Good boy. Just a little disclaimer, I am not a health or medical professional. Everything that I talk about today is my own personal experience and is for entertainment purposes only. Okay, are we ready to do the next one? Let's get comfortable. Fix that camera up. Thanks so much for coming back and joining my channel again. I really appreciate you being here. It means so much to me. This video is the video where I want to talk about weight loss and where I'm at and what's happening basically with me. Probably a good 9 to 12 months. It could even be a little bit longer than that. I made an appointment with the GP to go and get a little bit of a checkup. I'm pretty sure that I got my bloods done, you know, just a checkup, but I also wanted to talk about weight loss. I came to the idea of, you know, speaking to the GP about weight loss because of someone else that I knew who was on weight loss medication, and they, you know, were using that, and I had never really thought about medication for weight loss before, ever. Thought about everything else, tried everything else, but not medication. When I spoke to the GP about weight loss and getting some support because of my struggles, which I had always, well, that's a difficult thing. I was going to say I've always struggled with my weight. Probably always struggled with my self-esteem and my disordered thinking about my body, not necessarily my weight. Two different things. But anyway, I had struggled with my weight for quite so many years and really wanted to get some support. So I asked about it, and the GP sort of fobbed me off, really. They asked me about the calories that I consume and, you know, at each meal, what I generally eat, blah, blah, blah. Now, if I was a person who, it was the very first time that I had tried to lose weight in my life, I can understand that conversation. But for myself, who had probably, like so many of you out there, had tried so many things, I think I've even written some of them down so I could try and remember all of them. But I had done, you know, the shakes, counting calories. I had done, what's the one where you don't eat carbs or you eat only a certain amount and then slowly introduce them back in. Let me see if I do have this in my notes. Just give me one sec. Atkins, that's what it was, Atkins. I'm trying to think of what other, you know, Weight Watchers. So many things. Meals delivered to your house. So many things. Anyway, I'm sure that a lot of you can really understand that. So if it was my first time going through that, I would understand. But, you know, if I put my mind to it and I watch my calories at any given time, I have a pretty good idea of how many I should be eating and what types of food I should be eating. And, you know, I could do that. And I think probably the longest time that I think from my memory that I went where I would stick to something like that was probably about 6 weeks. And, I thought of another one, eating natural. So only eating natural food, not eating anything in a can just keep thinking of all the ways I have tried. So, you know, you would get to, or I would get to that 4 to 6 to 8 weeks mark. Even I know that there were ones that I did go much longer than that. However, the struggle to stay on, whether it was reduced calories or whatever it was ridiculous. Really, really bloody hard. The gym, that's really another one, isn't it? So I was a bit disheartened. I wonder as well with the GP if another reason that it didn't go as well is that I wasn't super informed when I went to my appointment. So I didn't, not that you have to know brand names of weight loss medication if that's what you're going in there to ask for, but I think it certainly may have helped if I had have watched YouTube videos, had a little bit more information and knew specifically what I was asking for. Maybe I would have gotten a little bit further. But anyway, I left that appointment feeling a little bit down, that, you know, I hadn't really gotten anywhere and that she was just recommending that I, you know, use my weight calorie counting app and, you know, try it again. So just another day, right? Whatever, move on. I think another thing that is important to share is that, and this is probably over the last few years, maybe a little longer, that I have worked so damn hard at improving my self-esteem, my self-love, my ability to be able to look in the mirror and not be so bloody nasty to myself. Not, it makes me, I want to tear up. Talking about it is just so many years of self-hate and loathing at looking at yourself. Anyway, it's not about me. This is to share and help other people. So, wow, that was a bit of an unexpected emotion. Anyway, I've been working very hard, and it's an ongoing thing, to be able to look at myself in the mirror and be able to see the lumps, the bumps, the rolls. I'm short, I'm super short. So be able to see my shortness and not care, love it, be okay with it. Not be okay with it. Bloody be happy and love what I see, because I can walk, you know, I'm capable, I'm able. And I am not made up of what I look like and my rolls and my fat and my shortness. That's not who I am. So I have worked really, I'm so sorry, I'm rambling, and I think the unexpected emotion that's popped out has just made me lose my train of thought. Let's reset. I didn't even have tissues. Okay, resetting. Reset. Okay, and we're back. Yeah, as I was saying, I have worked really hard at improving my self-esteem, improving my ability to be able to be happy with myself, even if I was overweight, which I was. I, will give you my weight and my height and everything. I'm have no problem sharing that, and I'm more than happy to share that, because I think, again, because of the journey I've been on, I probably would have been mortified to share that information with people, but in the past. So where were we up to before I lost my shit? Yes, okay. Found myself. I know where I am at. So I left the doctors feeling a little bit down, but being okay with it, because I had worked really hard on loving myself, being happier with myself, exactly how I was. So life would go on, whatever. But then what I have found amongst, and it's weird, as I said, I'm 46, nearly 47, and probably especially the last 3 or 4 years, I have had a lot more reflection around, when I'm not here anymore, what does that mean for my kids? What can I do to help set my kids up? What can I do to make sure that my husband is good and okay if I pass away first before him? Just things like that. It must just be something that happens as you get older. And I'm surprised that I'm only 46 and it started a few years ago. So, not super old, but anyway, I keep rambling. Because of that, the other part of that was even though I could look in the mirror and be a lot happier and a lot more fulfilled with myself being overweight, I was worried about my health. I was worried about having a heart attack. I was worried about getting diabetes. There were these other things that I was worried about. My grandmother, God love her, rest her soul, she was morbidly obese. I mean, morbidly obese. And my mum, who I'm sure will not mind me sharing this, as she is going through her own weight loss journey, and I'm so proud of her and I love her so much, and another one that will make me emotional, so let's not talk about that now. My mum was overweight as well, and she's short, same as me. So you don't have a lot of room there with your weight as much as maybe if you're a little taller. Not meaning, I don't mean that just because you're tall or medium height that it's easy. I apologize. That's not 100% not what I mean. I just mean the smallest bit of weight, it just means a lot more when you've only got a small amount in your height to add that weight to. Anyway, so life went on after the GP, and my mum had been on the weight loss medication for a short amount of time. Now, it wasn't the big brand that everyone talks about at the moment. It was some other brand. I'm not really too sure. She did okay on it. I think she would have to share this because I don't want to tell you the wrong thing, but I think she really had in her head that she wanted to get weight loss surgery. And so I don't know whether she just had that in her head and that's where she really was going. So, but anyway, we'll have to ask her about that one time. I'd love to have her on and chat about her experience. I actually told her, I said, Mum, you need to start your own YouTube channel about it, because gosh, if I've got things to talk about, she's got things to talk about. She's very entertaining. So life went on after the doctors, as I said, things went on, but I was thinking about my health a lot. I was thinking about my heart health. I was thinking about mobility, you know, the bigger you get, the sore, you know, you things hurt, and you don't want to walk as much, you don't want to do things as much, because whether it's the huffing and puffing, or, you know, you're just sore. So I don't even know how it got in my head, but somehow it just got into my head that let's do it. Let's reach out and let's do this. Let's get this product if I could. Now, as I explained, like, the GP wasn't super helpful, and I do think I could have probably gone and made an appointment with another GP. I am in Australia, and I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong, but I feel like it might be easier to get a script for weight loss medication in other countries as to what it is here. And again, I could be completely wrong, but I feel like there's still a lot of stigma and a lot of push, like what I found, to do it another way. I found an online provider that you could have a session with the GP, talk about what's going on for you. Plus, I'm not sure in other countries, but here, you know, your ability to get weight loss medication is a lot around your BMI, and my BMI was in obese, so where I sat in on that chart. So I was able to get a script for it. So basically, it was all an online situation of where I was able to get the script for my medication, and it was sent straight to my door. I just want to be really open that I wanted to share, you know, my different weeks of my journey on my weight loss medication, but I didn't have a phone that was good enough quality, especially with the audio, to record. Full disclosure, I am currently in week 6. No, maybe I just started week 7. Anyway, I'm a few weeks down the track, but I really wanted to, and I kept a diary and I wrote everything down of my different weeks and my journey along, just so I could share as much information as I could. My main reason was because when I did start myself, that was my main thing. I wanted as much information from as many people as I could. I was like binging YouTube. It was crazy. So I really wanted to put out, you know, a video, or sorry, a set of videos that, you know, share how it went for me. I'm gonna look at my notes as we go so that I make sure I don't miss anything. So it was week 1. Week 1 for me was the 11th of September to the 17th of September. My starting weight was 86.1 kilos, which is 189 pounds. And my height is 156 centimeters. The medication that I was prescribed was a GLP-1, which is, oh, I'm gonna get it actually. Okay. The medication that I was prescribed was a semaglutide. I want to say this properly. Semaglutide. Make sure there's nothing private on there. So I'll bring that up. Well, that's not gonna, it's not really very clear, is it? The brand name of the semaglutide, semaglutide. Oh my God. The brand name is Wegovy, and I can say that. I was put on 0.25 milligrams per week for the first 4 weeks. It comes in the box, and I'll just make sure there's no private information on there. Comes as a pen like this. hopefully you can see that clear. And if I take the lid off, you can see there's the medication in here. And the needle goes on top there. And yeah, I can show more of that another time. I was super nervous when it arrived though. I was so excited about it that I wanted to inject it straight away, pretty much straight away. Anyway, I finished work and then I injected it. And to my shock and surprise, I had almost an instant, within the hour, at the most it was an hour, where all the thoughts and all the things that, like, you know, are rattling around in my brain all the time about food, when's my next meal, oh, I want to eat that, no, you can't eat that, I want to have that, I'm hungry, you know, I want to eat more even though I'm not, all of that, it stopped. And I think I nearly had a heart attack. I couldn't believe it. I've never had quiet in my brain like that. And I'm serious, within the hour. I don't know if that's normal. I don't know if that's other people's experience, but that was my experience. And at that stage, I hadn't binged YouTube. You know, obviously I had read my leaflets. I had read about the risks, all those sorts of things. I'm not silly. I'm not just going to put my, you know, go into something with no information. But I hadn't gone down the big rabbit hole of, you know, watching a gazillion hours about it. So I knew that it would make me feel full, and I knew that you know, those signals would increase of me feeling full and not wanting food as much, but I was not expecting. I hadn't really heard anything about the food noise. And holy doolies. Yeah. Anyway, again, I'm raving on. Within that first week, I definitely had a super, super low appetite, like crazy low. I had to, and I think a lot of it was more habit because I'm so used to looking for food. I wasn't thinking about it and I didn't feel like I needed it, but I think in the very beginning, it was more habit of, I need to be eating. Like, it's time to have lunch, it's time to have dinner, or it's, you know, 2 hours past lunch. Why haven't I eaten? That sort of thing. I also didn't have an urge to drink. That was, again, another thing because I hadn't watched lots of videos on YouTube. I was unaware that there were these other good side effects that I didn't know about. And one of them was that you potentially, there's other things that where your pleasure center might usually kick in, whether it's drinking, shopping, gambling, trying to think of what other things, but I mean, they're the main, drugs, that potentially there is talk of that slowing down. And I've got to say, for me, within that first week, I had no urge to drink. So I took my first injection on a Wednesday, and we went out to dinner with friends on the Friday night. So it was only Wednesday, Thursday. So it was the third day. Now, I love to drink. I'm definitely a drinker, more socially, but I love to have a drink. Anyone who knows me knows I really enjoy a drink, and drank way too much during the COVID time. Who didn't, right? But, you know, we went out for dinner and it would be normal for me to drink. But because I didn't have the urge, I actually was designated driver, and we were out it was for a friend's daughter's 18th, and we were out for hours. I don't think, you know, it was like till 1 o'clock in the morning or something. And I had 2 wines. So that was, obviously I wouldn't have drank and drive, but I made that decision prior, but it was because I didn't have an urge. What else? I was definitely looking for healthier options. So that was interesting as well. So it wasn't just that your appetite's low, It's when I was looking for something to eat, I was not looking for anything fried, or I wasn't wanting to duck down to McDonald's or go to KFC or even the local takeaway to get a hamburger. There was no interest. I wanted to might have been, have chicken and veggies, or, it didn't matter what it was. It was just more fresh cooked items at home. So that was really good. Also, I do love chocolate. I'm definitely not fully addicted, but I do love chocolate. Had no inkling to eat sweets. Wasn't interested. What else have I got written down here? The words I've written was super freeing, very weird, very foreign. And that's exactly right. Like some aliens gotten into my brain, gotten into my body. Okay. So then later in the week, it would have been, across the weekend, I would say, I did binge a lot of videos online about Ozempic, Wegovy, weight loss, GLP-1s, a lot. Some videos definitely made me freak out and think, oh my God, what am I putting into myself? Which is really scary because I've already put it in. And you might be thinking, well, you're an idiot. Why didn't you read this stuff before? Well, it's from a GP. I'm trusting in the medical profession. I made sure that, the certain, things, if you've had medical issues before, that I hadn't had them. So it was okay for me to take it. So, outside of that, I was open to taking it. So anyway, I did think, oh God, because there's, things out there that there's a lot of, I'm not going to say misinformation, but people like drama, and people like things to be bad and there to be drama out of things. So of course, those stories and those accounts are what the media push. It's ratings, right? So once I pushed through those videos, I actually found some really helpful, good videos of people who, like GPs and health professionals and dietitians, who were still careful about it and mindful about who they might prescribe it to or who they would be working with around it, but they gave great information about, okay, you're doing this and it's right for you. Well, this is what I recommend that you do as well, and this is what you should look out for. And that was awesome. I've got written here, use your critical thinking brain. And that's exactly right. Anyone can get a study and pull out certain things and turn it into a big headline. And actually, oh my gosh, I've got a confession. It's confession time. When I was talking to my mum about doing a YouTube video and putting this out there, I can't believe this. I feel horrid. So when I had said earlier that mum took some weight loss medication, a fair while ago now, maybe, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, something like that. I said to her, oh, you're taking that medication and that's taking medication away from the diabetics. And I'm mortified because, yes, I'm not saying, please, diabetics, please don't write comments saying, that's right, that's what's happened. I'm not meaning that didn't happen. I'm not meaning that at all. That's not what I'm saying. There were shortages. Diabetics were finding it hard to get this medication, and that's terrible and that's horrible. And, nobody wants to wish that upon someone who relies on that for their health. But I'm mortified at myself that I used information from the media that like to sensationalize things. I used that and shamed my mother for having a go and trying something different to help herself. I don't have words. I don't even, I'm cranky with myself. I've apologized, obviously, but I'm glad she told me. But that annoys me because, you know, I'm putting myself in the same situation. I'm putting it out there online of what I'm doing, and there are going to be people exactly like me, 50 times worse than me, that are going to, you know, say hateful things, hurtful things, horrible comments, which, you know, that's, yeah, I totally against that, and I'm annoyed at myself beyond that I was one of those people. And I wonder, actually, was I jealous? You know, was I feeling jealous because she had an opportunity to try something that I either hadn't thought of, or I, you know, yeah, that I wanted? I don't know. Who knows? That's very possible, and that's horrible. But I have apologized to her. So anyway, back to the good stuff. So when you're out there and you're watching about these weight loss medications, please put your critical thinking brain on. Do not just believe everything that everybody tells you. You know, find credible sources that give you credible information. Last few things that I want to mention about week 1 on Wegovy was after the first couple of days, I actually had found that I was coming up 3 days and I hadn't pooped. I should have said, wait a minute, I should have said, this is going to be too much information. Anyway, okay, so, you know, day 1, day 2, you're sort of like, oh, it's okay, you know, I'll poop at some point. 3rd day, I was thinking, crap. Oh, no pun intended. Oh my God, how embarrassing. Okay. Okay. I get myself back together talking about poop. Right. I had 2 days without pooping. I was gone to the 3rd day, and I was like, oh, I really don't want to have to take, you know, like Benny fiber, or I can't even think off the top of my head, those fiber additives, you know, that you sprinkle on your cereal or whatever. I just, ugh. So I thought, okay, what are we going to do? Coffee is usually my special pooping friend. So from that day onwards, I vowed to make really strong coffee in the morning, to drink the first one quite fast. And you know what? It worked. I pooped. And I have pooped every day since. So I can't, oh my gosh, I'm not a medical expert. I'm not saying use coffee to help you with your constipation. Hell no, I'm not. But that's just what worked for me. If you have issues, please go and see a health professional. Do not take my advice. The other thing that I wanted to mention every week with my updates, or every month with my updates, whatever it is how I've been going with exercise. On my first week, I did 2 workouts and I did 2 walks. So that was okay. I was pretty happy with that. Side effects for the first week, really most of them were positive. Like I said, food noise stopped, and I did have my little issue with pooping, as we talked about, but you know, I ended up going, so that was good. And that's about it. I didn't really experience any other symptoms in that first week, which is really great. And to finish off, I'll let you know what my end weight was, so we can tell you what I lost, which is super cool. At the end of week 1, my kilos were 84.5 kilos, which is 186 pounds. I had a loss of 1.6 kilos, or 3.5 pounds. And that's the end of the first video. Oh my gosh, we got through it. Thank you for bearing with me. Thanks for listening to me share my story. I'm really looking forward to, sharing week by week everything that's going on. If you have any specific questions, I'm more than happy to try and answer. So please just ask down below, anything that you may want to know, and I'll try and answer it, that's for sure. And before you go, if you've made it all this way, thank you. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for supporting me. So if you could please hit the like and please hit the subscribe as well. And that way you can follow along when I do further weeks. Thanks so much again, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video.